What is going on, everyone? I'm out here today and I'm shooting my home 3D course, and I figured why not tell you guys about my new bow sight. You guys got to see my full RX9 Ultra setup that we did this year, and I'm pretty excited about it, but I didn't go in-depth detail with my bow sight and why I picked it and everything about it. So we're going to be looking at the Excel driver today while I walk through my 3D course, take some shots with it, and tell you guys what I like about it and what I don't like about it. First up, we got a buck target at like 75 yards. We're going to rip it. I have not shot at all today, so we're going in completely cold. Let's see what happens. So as I mentioned, with this bow sight right here, let me get myself out of the way here. I got the Excel driver Picatinny mount sight. And one reason why I chose the Picatinny mount is it's actually quite a bit lighter. I think it's like 2 or 3 ounces lighter than the side mounting sight or just the regular dovetail. Now, that goes to say, Picatinny mounts are really sketchy sometimes, in my opinion, but I think with this Hoyt being carbon and then this actually being integrated into the riser, I think it's going to be pretty sturdy and pretty consistent. I haven't had it move on me yet, and I've shot probably over 1,000 arrows through this bow already, and it's a really nice sight. I only have one complaint over this sight. One complaint, and I'll leave that at the end of the video. If you guys can guess what it is, leave it down in the comments now, because I'll be curious to see what you guys think about it. It's an expensive sight, but it has micro tune. You guys can see right here, got micro tune left and right, up and down, and it also is second and third axis adjustable. That is something that is super important when you are doing the technical shots that I've talked about before. So when you're shooting uphill or downhill, you want your second and third axis to be spot on, because if it's not, you're going to have problems with your bubble. Your bubble will lie to you, I guess is the best way to put it. So you might think that you're holding your bow level, and you're actually not. So that's one thing you guys really got to pay attention to, is if you're buying a single pin sight, buy one that has second and third axis adjustment, or any sight like that, really. You guys are, I know there's going to be some of the comment warriors down there and say, well, I've shot a bow for 45 years and I ain't ever had no damn, second and third axis sight on me. Well, maybe you're just too much good. You're just better than us. I'm sorry. For me, I always pay attention to my bubble. That is the first thing I do before I even get to my anchor point. I draw back, look at the top cam, make sure I'm not torquing it, level the bow, and then I'm good to go shooting, because I know if I have cant, C-A-N-T without the apostrophe, I'm not going to be shooting a true flight path of my arrow that I should be. My pin's going to be lying to me. So with that being said, we're going to shoot a group at 71 yards. Here is where we're standing. I'll show you guys the target. We're going to let 3 arrows fly. Like I said, I have not even shot my bow today, so if I hit the target with all 3 arrows, I'm going to be happy. Hopefully I can stick at least 2 arrows in the heart, and if we get all 3 kills on an actual deer, that'd be pretty cool. So let's show you the target, shoot a group, and see what happens. You guys can see my bow right there. We'll swivel way over. The neighbor's dog's barking, which is annoying as hell, but way down there is our target. So we're going to be shooting it 71 yards. Hopefully I don't suck. That was a really good shot. Woof. Yeah. So I chose the 19th thousandth pin on this bow, or on this sight rather. Excel has really good fibers, but I have found that if you go to too small of a fiber while you're hunting, especially in those low light situations or cloudy situations when it gets first light or last light, a smaller fiber has less fiber to absorb light and have the sun hit and make your pins actually bright to where you can see them. I prefer a smaller fiber when I'm shooting targets in 3D, but for a hunting setup, I 100% recommend 19 thousandths over 10 thousandths. That's just me personally. Let me know what you guys have in your thoughts and comments. Oh God, that was almost a Robin Hood from 75 yards. First shot was a little bit high, but look at these two. So you can see all really pretty good line. And look how close those were. Those were really tight right there in the shoulder. Not bad at all. I don't know what I did on that first arrow, but honestly, probably on exit, that would probably be a dead deer. So I would say definitely easily 2 dead deer, probably if not 3. So yeah, definitely choose a 19 thousandth over a 10 thousandths if you're buying a hunting sight. I pulled my arrows yet, and I didn't want to show you guys this. So on the entrance, this arrow right here is actually a wound, but if we go to the backside, I'll show you what the backside, that's actually a really good shot there. And you guys can see those are perfect, but those are really good shots there. I don't even know if You guys might be able to see the antelope I was standing by. That's my other target way down there. That's where I was shooting from. So I will take that all day for the first group. So some pros and cons to having a single pin sight. The biggest pro to it, the biggest pro, is it makes you get super familiar with your sight picture and also just your bow setup in general. Because 90% of your bow sights that you're going to buy that are a single pin, to get them sighted in, you have to do almost a full walk back tune in order to get your 20 to 60 pin to actually get your tape. Some of those sights you can chronograph and get that shit, but I like a sight that I have to literally shoot 100, 150 arrows to get my sight marks perfect to where I want them, and that makes you really familiar with your bow sight. Some cons, you have to be cognizant about what you're dialing to. I've had multiple times where I haven't dialed my sight and I've shot over a target or even a deer just because I haven't dialed it to the correct distance that my target is at. Some other things I think are worth mentioning: with a single pin sight, you do not have nearly as much clutter in your sight housing and in your scope view, so to speak. So if you're shooting further distance and you're shooting at a small target or a big target, you get to see more objectively of that target. So what I mean by that is you don't have pins cluttering over the spot you're going to want to be aiming if you're using like a 5 pin, a 6 pin, or even a vertical pin with like 4 or 5 pins for those old folks out there that have used those. So we're going to the next target. Let's see what happens. So we have a target down there, probably right at 40. I'm getting ready to range it here in a second. 40 yards is what my guess is. Let's see, hit it with a rangefinder, and it is 40, 42, 43. So I wasn't too far off. This is only like the second time I've shot this target this year, so that's not really that bad of a guess, really. That's like literally a perfect shot right there. It does not get much better than that. That's right through the shoulder blade, front shoulder blade there. Gonna exit right behind the back shoulder blade, I would think. I'm gonna try to tuck one just a little bit to the left, or to the right of that, excuse me. Kind of like that. That was also a really good shot. Two really good shots there, actually. See if we can make a third good one there. I'm gonna go a little bit further to the right, just for funsies. Let's see what we can get working here. 3-arrow group, all dead deer. Watch them drop every single time. Can't ask for more than that. All right, let's go take a look. There's a gigantic spider web that I got to like get rid of here. I'm sorry, buddy. I hate doing this to you, but this is my shooting lane, and eventually you're gonna get hit with an arrow. All right, walking back down. Those are all really good arrows. You see how it's getting dark? My camera has to actually adjust to it. Oh, that last one I shot, I was a little bit low on that last one. I think they're still all dead deer. Oh yeah, they're definitely all dead deer. Really good shots there, actually. Look at this big old spider web. You probably can't even see it. Yeah, see it? Like right there. Big old spider web. Get rid of that. Again, I'm sorry, buddy. So you can see, oh shit, all dead deer right there. Really good shooting right there. Can't ask for better. We have a couple more targets, and then I'm going to do a full, just quick run through of my bow sight and why I chose everything about it and what I like about it. And then, like I said, I'll tell you guys the one thing I don't like about it. There's one thing, and I think almost every single pin sight has this flaw. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll get into it here in a second because it's a big problem for me, and it literally drives me up a freaking wall, this problem. But anyway, shooting a target here, probably like 25 yards. I'm not even going to range it. I'm just going to shoot it for 25, see what happens. My bow shoots flat enough that I'm not really too worried about it. So 25 yards, 3 arrows, let's go. Isn't that every bow hunter's dream, is to get a doe, or just any deer, broadside looking the other way? I mean, yeah, that's about perfect. Okay, 25 yards. Broadside, pretty easy shot. Just perfect right through both lungs, and call it a day. Go pick it up. Perfect. Right there in the heart. Sweet. put one right between these two. See what happens. I think that was about perfect. Let's go take a look at the group. So you can see all 3 shots, all right there in the tin from, I don't know, 25 yards. Not bad at all. Let's move on to the next target. That one was low. That was my fault. I'm worried about hitting the camera here. That's why I need to back up like 2 steps. Need to hire like a full-time videographer. How's that one? Right there in the goodie. I love shooting deer right there. A little bit low. It's going to get the top or the bottom of the lungs right through the center of the heart. Yeah, those are what we call the cookie cutters. You almost will always watch those deer fall. They don't make it very far. I'm going to aim for my other knock, see how close we can get here. Last arrow of the day, let's make it a good one. I don't know, that looked pretty freaking close. Let's go look at the arrows and then let's talk about the sight. So if you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, smash that like button, give me a subscribe, because I do all sorts of reviews. I just walked through like 3 spider webs with my camera. Oh, there's a big ass spider. What was I saying? Oh yeah, ah! Another spider web. Dear God, I gotta come in here more often. Anyway, look at all these spider webs, holy shit. Anyway, wow, those were all low. A little bit lower than I would like. Definitely kills walking through another spider web. I do all sorts of product reviews, technical tips, shooting tips. Those would be, you'd watch almost every single one of these deer die. That was awesome. How's that for 37 yards? Right there in the goodie. So let's talk about the features of this bow sight. So first of all, this is a single pin bow sight that you guys have probably heard about this whole video, like why I love this sight, everything good about it. Let's talk about quick features real quick, because I think it's important if you guys are making an informed decision to buy this sight, specifically right here that you guys see. This is the Excel driver, the Hoyt Picatinny mount system, the inline system, or whatever the hell they call it. This is the sight right here. Super cool. So we have a Picatinny mount, and then right here, if you look here with my finger, this is your left and right micro adjust. I am a huge fan of micro adjust sights, especially when you're getting your yardages and you're actually doing your walk back tune and trying to get familiar with the sight. I went with the 41mm housing. They make one even smaller. I don't think I'd go with the smaller housing personally for hunting. For target shooting, I might consider it. Cool thing about this sight, right here, this sight has 2 adjustments for second and third axis. So right here, if you look here, we have these 2 screws, and I don't know how well the camera is picking it up, but we have 2 screws right here that are going to adjust your pan and tilt for your scope housing right here. And then the actual mounting bracket for your sight right here, we have these 2 screws that are going to take your change your tilt left and right to get your bubble to match up with this. Now, things that I don't like about this, first off, right here, this came with 3 I took one off, 3 indicators with only 2 sights, and I had to mess with that significantly to make sure that I had my first one right and then my second one right. Not a huge deal, but it was something that I really thought that probably could have just been left without. I don't know why they put a 3rd one in there. Maybe they were just being nice and giving me a free one. But my biggest flaw, and that you guys have been watching and wondering about this whole video, what's the biggest flaw with this sight? Right here on the scope housing and almost every other scope housing, they do not make it flat to where you can actually level your scope housing vertically. So what I mean by that is, like, you can get your first, second, and third axis adjusted while having this literally tilting forward or tilting backward, not perfectly 90 up and down level to the bow. You can eyeball it and get it as close as you want. I know mine's not perfect. I know for a fact mine's not perfect. I've been shooting it like this and I'm okay with it, but it drives me up a wall and I just have to bite my tongue and just go on with it, because this is not a level surface to actually put a level on to go up and down to get your level perfectly 90. You'd have to level your bow, and then you'd have to find out some way to get this to be perfect. The only way I could think of it is maybe, like, I guess 3D printing a bracket to put on the top of this to make this flat, to actually set it down on there to clamp on the outside of your scope housing. I do love the fact that you can actually turn this knob here right up on the front. Which one is it? Making me wonder. Yeah, right here. See this? You can turn this back and forth to actually let more light into your scope housing to get those fibers bright or dark. I really like this sight. Great things about it. Super, 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 super durable. I love how this is all machined. Very clicky, very smooth. You guys can see this is smooth. It just feels durable and like really good construction and manufacturing here from Excel. Excel makes great sights, and you guys probably know that already. But I'll give you guys some closer looks at this sight, and we'll finish out the video. That is just a really good looking bow sight there. I mean, you just really can't complain about the way that sight looks. I mean, it just looks slick. It looks deadly. It just looks very well manufactured. I think that's one of my biggest, like, just ups to this sight. I love this sight. I've shot spot hogs. I've had friends that have shot black gold. I've shot multiple other sights, but Excel has always been the best bow sight on the market. It is expensive. It's going to cost you a penny penny. I think the sight that you're looking at right now is like 500 some bucks, 450 bucks. So it's not cheap. It's going to hurt the pocketbook, but I think it's definitely worth it. Some key takeaways about this video and about this sight specifically. Is the Excel driver worth the money? Absolutely. If you guys watch this video, you know exactly why I'm saying that. But I definitely love this sight. Well manufactured. It's just a great sight, and it's durable. It's a good looking sight. So if you guys are going to be buying a single pin sight, here's some things that I would tell you. Let me set my bow down here for a second. Here's some things that I would tell you that you definitely need to be looking at. First off, do not get a sight that is spring retention for your micro adjustments. And what I mean by that is you'll have like imagine your left and right adjustment has a spring through it that has a nut that you twist and it moves that left and right for your adjustment. Do not do that for two reasons. One, springs are going to wear out. That's the biggest thing. And two, you can over tighten the shit out of those and break your spring and your left and right adjustment screwed, and then you don't even have micro adjust. You literally have to just loosen it, push it in and out, and it's just a pain in the ass. Don't do it. Don't get a sight that has a spring adjusted windage or left and right adjustment. Just don't do it. Second off, make sure you get a sight if you're going to really get into shooting tree stand, shooting long shots, shooting uphill, downhill, shots like that, and make sure you get a sight that has first, second, and third axis adjustment. If you are not having a sight that has a correct level, and meaning the level's lying to you, you will never shoot perfectly accurate. And then a perfect example of that is, I have shot multiple shots at that first target that we shot at, where I actually purposely tested it. I just held my pin directly on the front shoulder with my sight bubble way to the left side, so it was like canted like this, kinda. I shot and my sight went way right. I was actually going like this across the plane of existence through my flight path. I was just not right. I'm getting into a whole bunch of nerdy stuff that doesn't mean half of this to you guys. You're like, well, is it just worth the money? Yes, buy a sight that is first, second, third axis adjustable. Try to find one that is lightweight as possible, and try to find one that is mechanically sound. Make sure that when you, like if you're at a bow shop, and you go to a bow shop, you're like, hey, can I take this out of the box? Can I move the sight around? Can I like dial it and see how it feels? See if it's buttery smooth, and if it's not, don't buy it. I will tell you guys, save your money and buy the sight that you wish to desire. That's one thing that I did. The first single pin sight, the nicest one that I ever bought, was the Excel, I think it was the, oh, what's the word? Achieve. It was the Achieve, the Excel Achieve, and I put the UltraView 3 scope on there. And it was nice. It was just way too much sight for what I needed to be doing. But definitely take a look at the Excel driver sight. I hope you guys loved today's video. If you did, leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.